Welcome to another perverted adventure. Are you ready to get
You
wild
say
and
a
wet?
perverted adventure,
Yeah.
like a really pornographic choose your own adventure game, like some 1970s like Dungeons and Dragons esque like Conan the Barbarian thing. Like you just choose to rape whoever you like run into.
This is this
like
is a
like the
General
old
Custard's revenge.
no like the old villager who gives you like mana, and then you're like, would you like to rape this guy? And of course, you're 11 reading this book, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'll rape him. Because you don't realize, the ramifications, emotionally that this villager is going to suffer throughout his life. Like, you're not going to kill him, but at 11, you really don't understand what you're doing.
Public libraries.
Yeah.
Dude, this will
Oh,
probably be relatively
I was saying such terrible shit. I didn't know we were actually live. So
this will
if
probably be
anybody,
close to a shorter episode because like fucking board isn't all the way charged, which is fine because you have work tomorrow and all that stuff. But
yeah, I gotta go to work.
dude, when I was in fucking middle school, like we had the library, and you remember it in Packer was fucking ginormous.
Packer, yeah, I got kicked out of school. I was like my last like hurrah for William Floyd, which fucked him anyway.
But yeah, it was like a couple of my buddies were into like manga and shit, and I was like, oh fuck, manga, like I want to read some because I read one of the Yu-Gi-Ohs. One of my buddies gave me it, and first off, Yu-Gi-Oh the manga compared to the cartoon is so violent. Like the girl he likes is being held captive, and he just doesn't have time for shit, so he throws a hand grenade on their lap and kills them. It's stupid shit. But I remember I was like, man, what the fuck is this? And I pulled this book up, and it's a picture of like a girl doing this, and I fucking flipped that shit to like the middle, and it's just tentacles and a pussy, and I was like,
It turned into hentai real quick.
dude, they brought so much hentai I didn't know because they would just get books donated, or they'd be like, oh, we'll just order a bunch of fucking anime, just bring all the anime shit in here, and they ended up buying, dude,
some guy, some dude showed up to the fucking school in like in a Suzu fucking like cab over engine fucking truck, smoking an illegal cigarette. Was like, "This good book." They're
dude,
like, "This is."
I just
They're like,
remember
"Let's buy
looking
this.
at it.
Let's buy this." The truck says it's from Flushing. We should trust him.
Dude, I just remember looking at it, and I was like,
Oh,
man, what the
God.
fuck is this? And like, I was like, huh. And then I'm trying to remember her name. It wasn't Mrs. Connolly. It was some weird. I forgot some
Oh,
weird.
don't say you blew the whistle on the hentai.
No,
Like
no.
you.
I'm looking at it like dumbfounded. The second I flip it open, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And she looks
Hell
me over
yeah.
the shoulder, and she's like, go to the office. And I was like, this is
What?
just a fucking book. And she's like, go to the office. And she ripped the page out. And I was like, you can rip that page out all you want, but
I would have went up to the school, like the teacher would be like, "Why does this woman have an axe wound between her legs? What the fuck? Where's her pee pee?
I was like, why is that octopus like strangely going in her vagina and coming out her nose?
Like, where's her pee pee, bro?"
But I
How sh-
remember, I was like, that's got to be the only one. So I was telling John and maybe another kid, maybe James DeZago, another kid I went to school with, I was telling him about it. And we went back to the section where it was, and I was like, it was right fucking here, it's gone. So then we like ripped like two or three more books, and it was just like animated Japanese boners, and I was like, oh, I fucking told you. John's like, yo, this
Dude,
is so fucking. I wonder if he remembers that. I should text him. Like, you remember when we found hentai in the library? I
from
remember.
that from that fucking strange dude for the illegal cigarettes
Yeah, that was like
in that graffitied up truck from Flushing.
that was sixth. That was sixth grade because I remember that was right after social studies, and then I remember years later when I was in ninth grade, the high school also had a fucking crazy library, and that same librarian had followed us up, and I remember being like, "Oh shit, you followed us up here," and she's like, "Yeah, you could say that," and I was like, "This is the same year I learned about lemon party and meat spin."
So this guy, it may not be the old man from Flushing. It might be this guy just had it out for you. Like he's probably his
Well,
name is Lester.
no, well, this one was my fault. So I end up, we
Hey,
learn about meat spin and lemon party, and we were
do you have like victim's guilt? It's
no,
my fault.
no,
Like I
I
should have
have
went.
guilt. I
It
have
was only
victims.
he only offered me one candy bar, so he was a cheap date.
No, I had victims fucking praise. No, but there was before like Wikipedia was just really there, but there was that other thing that the school computers came, which was Encarta.
Yeah,
So we were
yeah.
doing a research project I forgot what class it was, but we were like, they were making us research a bunch of shit. Some kids like, I can't find out where this is, and I was like, oh, dude, I was like, why don't you fucking tell me? And he's like, what? I was like, you gotta go to fucking lemonparty.org. Like, that is where you're gonna find all your information.
Oh,
And
dude.
I sit back and I'm doing this, and I'm looking at the computer, and he types it in, and all of a sudden he fucking clicks it. And this fucking picture of three old dudes blowing each other comes up.
I think I have a
I
better fucking lemon party story.
But dude, I laughed so hard, and then like a week later, I got called down to Mr. King's office, and he's like, Mr. Cashman, what did you do? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, these young kids came in here and they said they needed research on a website, and you presented a picture of three old guys performing oral on each other. And I
Is
was
this
like,
fellatio?
and I was
I'll be
like,
like,
I was like, no,
well, what?
I was
Which
like,
Italian explorer was that? Fellatio.
the guy who discovered my southern hemisphere. No, but he was just like, he's like, is this true?
There's
And
palm trees here.
I was like, no, this isn't true. I was like, why would I do that? And he's like, you're gone for 5 days. He didn't even think about it. He was like, you're just gone for 5 days. I was like, I
So
lost computer privileges in the library for a whole year, and it made me feel like a retarded kid because anytime we had a project, that had to be researched on the computer, the teacher had to sit next to me. So I was just
you're like, no, I don't need the bike helmet. I'm just in
yeah,
trouble. Like,
yeah.
I'm just in trouble.
But like I remember I was like I remember sitting there and I'm like, fuck, like this can't
You
be
don't have to follow me in the bathroom. Like,
I was like,
I'm
yeah, I
just
was like, this can't be my last hurrah. And I did it again. Like some other kid was like, I need a proxy website. And I was like, meatspin.com. And it just, you
dude.
heard the music because the kid turned the volume down to hear, you
Just
spin me. And it was just like, they're like, you can't come back to the library at all. You can't come back to the school library. And I was like, oh,
I think
fuck.
I think Pete Burns from Dead or Alive, the band that performed that from the
He's
band that
now
performed
dead.
that song. Yeah, he's dead now, but I think he was alive at the time that Meat Spin was a thing. I wonder if he knew about it. Like, I think he's gay or bisexual, which I mean, whatever. But I mean, because it is like it's a gay porn clip. But for people that don't know what Meat Spin is, like,
Oh,
who's
everybody knows what it is.
like, tell your children, man. Tell your folks. Like, but yeah, Lemon Party. So, all right. So, all right. So, my original drummer from Altamont, I won't say his name because I don't know, like, whatever, but he's a good guy. So, anyway, so
Zil Backey.
don't say that.
I
I'll say
did
his
Zil.
name close to it. But anyway, so he just joined this band that we were in Shirley, this like crap ass. Like, I think it was like I got like suckered into joining a new metal band, but I got a chance to write. I'd never been in a band really before. So I actually rewrote everything for them, and it was all crap, but like it was a step in the right direction. And so we got that drummer, and then when I was like, I had enough solo stuff, like I was out of there. I was like, I'd rather sing, do it myself, and like whatever. And I took a chance on that, and the drummer was like, hey, don't forget me. When you're up and running, I'll come play for you. And I was like, all right, cool. So we were like, I guess we should get to know each other. I'd never started a band, and I really was like, you remember how serious we were, and like we did pretty good. So, anyway, so I was like, all right. So I call him and stuff. We talk on the phone and shit. I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just on my computer. So I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I was like, you want to hear some really good music? He's like, yeah. What kind of bands do you like? And he's like, I like the Police and all that. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, here's a band I like. I'm into some eclectic shit. And I was like, check out lemonparty.org. That's their band website. He clicks. He's like, oh, dude, sick. And the saddest thing was his mom. And she was amazing. I love her. And she was from like Brooklyn. So she walked. When this fucking popped up on the screen, like his mom turned the corner and saw that her son was like checking out like some three old dudes like blowing each other. And she was, I could hear her in the background. She was like yelling at him, but she was like just so shocked. It wasn't even like rebuke. It was like, why? It wasn't like that at all. And he told me later on, she's like, Billy, are you gay? It was like no, Mom. He had explained that like he just joined a band with the lead singer just made him look gay porn. She was very nice to me. I don't know how. She was really sweet to me the whole time. She got to know me. Like she peeled back the onion and was just still accepting of me. Like I have to say, she was an absolute sweetheart. But that was my introduction to her family.
Yo, do you
Billy, are you gay?
remember the fucking pack of trails?
Yeah,
Bro, I remember because like sixth grade, like that's like the first grade where you're allowed to really walk to school.
yeah.
And I remember walking through and there's a torn up picture all on the ground. And I'm like, the hell is this? It's like ripped like 3 times. So I pick it up and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I'm staring at it. And first off, it's really wrong. But it was some kid in middle school who took a picture of his dick in his girlfriend's pussy. I don't know how they got it developed. I couldn't tell you how they got that fucking developed. But
I could tell you how. I could tell you
I
how,
remember
man.
looking at it and just throwing it and was like, what the fuck?
I worked at Eckerd, man. That's how old I am. It's like, what? It's like I worked at Woolworth when everything was 5 and dime. They'd be like, shut the fuck up, grandpa. But I worked at Eckerd, and the first roll of film I ever fucking got, and people are like, a roll of film? What the fuck? A roll of film? It's like, seriously, yeah. Pictures, used to have to be developed. And it was like 1 hour photo. I'm like, fuck off, man. Anyway, so I worked for them. I used to chew tobacco. I used to buy a pouch of beech nut chewing tobacco, do people's pictures with like a thing of chaw in my mouth. And but the first role I ever got was like these teenagers having sex, and I was like, "What the fuck is like? Am I supposed to do this?" And my manager was like this woman, and she was like, "Oh, that's a T9," and I'm like, "This is my first role of film." She's like, oh, "Welcome to Eckerd," and I was like, damn, dude, I got one guy took pictures of his wife, like what I was like, I guess the stages of her being pregnant, like, but like she was naked. And I was like, she just had this like Grizzly Adams thing going on. And I
Was
was
she
just like,
crowning?
dude, it was awful. It was just, I mean, it was like something that I guess they needed to get developed. It was my job. But I was like 18 and I was like, ew, what a pushy bitch, like,
So you made
I didn't,
copies.
yeah, it was like, imagine just getting those back. He was probably like, oh, like as if I didn't look at them, I'd be like, oh, Mr. McWilliams.
Mr.
I
McLean,
was,
we need to have a jack.
yeah, no, that's not a teen. So the thing was, you could take pictures of anything and get it developed as long as you weren't touching it. It wasn't being aroused. So like, yeah, you some guy could sit there with his dick hanging out, doing some fork, and like
Doing some lemon party.
yeah, listening to Electric Youth, but that doesn't come out on the film. Yeah, it's fucking gross, bro. I would just get like just and it's never like hot chicks or anything. It's like because like a good looking woman's not gonna be like with a Kodak Instamax film, whatever. Remember those disposable cameras?
Yeah, they make them again. Wow, my glasses are fucking crooked.
Yeah, they make them and they sell them for like $80. I'm like, oh, cool, nostalgia and crap. Like it's like as if like oh, we're like was that Crosley? Yeah, Crosley they remade like an 8-track player. You'd be like, this fucking sucks. Like 50 years later.
It
Fucking
even
like
comes
you know
with,
what I
it
mean?
even
Like
comes with simulated fucking tape stretching.
yeah, like dude, like okay, I get it. Like vinyl's back. It's like they make it better now. It's like a thicker record. I know I told you after 1973, the oil embargo, records got thinner. People are like, what? Really? Oh shit,
Yeah,
yeah,
petroleum embargo.
petroleum, yeah. I can understand the nostalgia with records and stuff, plus the artwork if you have a gatefold sleeve and stuff like that. But just imagine they brought back 8-tracks. Yeah, like, dude, 8-tracks sucked. Dad gave me a bunch of them. I had this beautiful like Emerson 8-track player or some shit, whatever it was. It was really nice, like wood grain from the early 70s. Anyway, but you'd be listening to like Black Sabbath Master of Reality, be like, do, and then all of a sudden, gotta change a track. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It'd be in the middle of like your favorite part, like Bohemian Rhapsody is Roger Taylor's hitting that high C note, and then it just hears, and then you'd be like, what the fuck? It'd be like somebody just like somebody putting a fucking bottle cap over your penis and you're about to ejac, like.
Oh yeah. By the way, we did record an episode last week, and all the sound was gone. So
We were trying to bring back silent film.
we were, yeah. But
we did a Chaplin episode.
We did it. I did do an apology where I did apologize, and the reason why I hadn't made one in a month was because I went from work to AT for the National Guard, came back, had to host people, had to go straight to work after hosting people, and I fucking just exhausted myself to the point where I was like, I need to take a break. And then I had to host people again, so I had to this is in my spare room, so I had to literally take everything down. Like right now I have this like 10, 12-foot fucking green screen across. No, I mean, yeah, something like that. But I have a huge green screen, and it was just like I had to take it down and put it away and make sure that nothing was in the way. And then I was like, I can't set this back up. But then obviously
You're
here we
like the
are.
only guys apologizing for serving the country, though. I mean, I get it, but I think people would understand, dude. Like, you worked hard. It's not like you're like, yeah, I just sat on my couch. Doritos were like my thing.
No, I actually I picked these today up on a whim. I forgot I even had them while I was doing everything.
Fentanyl Doritos.
Fentanyl Doritos, dude. Me and Miss Hayes were hanging out.
Oh,
Oh
I
no,
dude.
yeah, rest.
You know what's
funny?
crazy? You know what's crazy? I would never have thought when I heard the news that she would actually die from that shit. I thought she would just get in trouble. Like, I
No,
was
man,
just all
I
about.
saw the picture of the car. She was dead. That car was
Oh, I
black.
mean, the car burned. I mean, it didn't mean she
Yeah,
was in it the whole time.
there's a picture of her on the
There's a
stretcher.
picture. Yeah, it looks so awful. Now they're blanking it out. But like for a day or two, they fucking like just had this uncensored photo of this woman burn the fuck up, and it's like,
Because they're culture vultures.
yeah,
They
dude. I
pick
mean,
apart the fucking culture and
I never.
they hop on it like a bunch of fucking weirdos.
One of the things that like I did say though that we lost in like the footage that we lost or whatever. Like dude, like I was never a fan of hers, and like she did some like weird stuff, but like, and I'm not saying that being with Ellen DeGeneres is weird or anything. Like that's just her preference. That's fine. But like I feel so bad like in a lot of ways because like nobody ever did anybody try to help her. Like she was on her podcast. She's like, I downed a bunch of vodka and wine or some shit because I had a rough day, and it's like she has an agent and a manager, and it's like these people are now speaking. They're getting their like name in the press, and they're probably like, oh, it's Sue James Cashman, but like nobody ever was like, come on, man, like you're gonna fucking die. Like I
Well,
don't know.
the
This
thing that
wasn't she. Didn't she drive through the desert on ecstasy once? And like
I don't know.
she did,
The
and
thing I
like
hate though is
told the cops that like the mothership was gonna take them somewhere to heaven or some shit.
what was she part of
She ended up
Harrison
in a
Williams?
psych ward. No, man, she had a lot of issues, and like there's no excuse for what she did. But
Yeah,
it's fucking sad,
but they
man.
had
It's really
million
sad.
news articles about it today, and like one of them randomly, because like I truly try not to look at the news, but like one of them popped up on like Google. Like I was just going through Google looking for something, and it was like Anne Hesh died at whatever 53 or something, and it was like an LGBT trailblazer due to her openness was not given many roles, and I was like, that's not fucking true. Because have you ever seen 6 Days, 7 Nights? Harrison Ford is
No,
the only reason that movie is worth watching. It's even got
I don't know,
David Schwimmer,
man.
dude.
There you. I don't
It
know.
was
That
a
movie
vehicle. It was
grossed
a
160 fucking million
yeah.
dollars. Like she was not a dude. It's like, listen, I know Harrison Ford has huge star power. You'd be like, I don't give a fuck.
I
That
don't really
movie,
give a
fuck.
shit.
That movie was fucking
But
bad.
no, but like,
But
she's a
she
horrible actor.
she was
I think she
she
was
was
in Godzilla
competent.
98.
97,
98
Godzilla
with
1997.
Matthew Car Crash Broderick,
Oh
the guy
god,
who
yeah,
never apologized
Ferris
for wiping out a
Bueller.
mother and daughter. Mueller. But yeah,
So
no.
Ferris, so do you know in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like, you could look this up, but like the actual principal in that movie was like is a convicted pedophile.
Yeah,
I know that's
Jeffrey something. He's also in
right.
he's also in Who Eats Harry Crumb.
He's also in Hootie and the Blowfish.
He's also in Hootie and the Blowfish. And
He plays the tambourine. He's like
he's like
hiding.
no. No,
That's
but
Dave Matthews.
well, they're both the same person. No,
All I
but
want to be with you.
no, but they were like she wasn't giving many roles because of her openness, and I was
Dude,
like, but like I was
I
like
just-
that's such fucking bullshit though because her acting is such shit, and they threw her in shit movies. That's why she wasn't offered roles. It's like Matthew Broderick. Once he did Godzilla '98, that's the last time you really see him, and then he ended up doing like weird obscure roles, like the fucking Inspector Gadget movie, like. Who the fuck wants to see an inspector?
It's weird. His wife is like
this is terrible.
his wife is more staying power. I don't know what, but he's probably behind the scenes. It's like saying that Matthew Broderick isn't he in the theater now?
Probably, dude. No,
Dude, you know what's crazy? you know what's crazy though? Like the Hootie and the Blowfish. I remember when they came out. You know, I remember when they like got big, and Dad liked them, so like we heard them more than we probably should have. And I just remember the first time like seeing Darius Rucker, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like he's like standing there and they're like playing guitar and shit, and he's like, "All right, it's a black guy, I don't care."
I only
Like I
want to
said,
blow a
we
dirt.
I grew like I said, we grew up with the Cosby Show. Like honestly, it's just like it didn't bother me that anything like we didn't care what color anybody was like growing up. I didn't hear racist jokes while I was like in fifth grade in school. Like I didn't hear that shit at home. Like really. And then with church, we're not going to hear it there. So, but Hootie and the Blowfish, I remember like the first time like he opened his voice, he was like, "Brr," and I'm like, what the fuck? Because you were just like not expecting that, man. I was like,
You find
maybe my, I was like
dude, you
nine,
find out
like,
it was like
but
a Milli Vanilli sort of deal. He wasn't singing; it was Frank Oz
yeah,
the whole time.
it's just, yeah,
I only
Millie
want to be with
Vanilli.
you.
I remember when Millie Vanilli was such a big fucking deal, and then they got caught with the lip syncing, and then dude, they were like the cause. I mean, they were like the butt ass end of jokes, man. I mean, I remember people at school just like we were like in third grade, we didn't even know who the fuck they were, but because they had like such a fucking stupid ass name, that we were just like, dude, Millie Vanilli fucking sucks dick, and we were like so young, we didn't even know what we were saying. It's like so stupid. I remember kids fucking. I'm so old, dude. There was I don't even know if you've ever heard of them, but there was these two kids who were called like Crisscross,
Yeah,
and
crisscross make
and
you shake your
they
ball.
used to wear their pants backwards. And I remember like kids trying to do that in school, and like the teachers were like, "Reverse your fucking pants, or we're calling your parents." And they were
Dude, the
like,
only way
"Fuck."
I would ever wear my pants backwards is if I'm putting a goat's hoofs in the pockets. I don't know why
Fucking
Dad told me about that,
wait,
but I
wait,
was
wait. Was that a LeBron James reference? Like you're gonna fuck LeBron James,
he
like
just has
greatest
to
of all
hold. I
time?
have to hold his fucking ankles in my fucking pants. He's like, "Let me go, dog." I'm like, "Nah."
No, greatest of all time. He's the goat. You're
Oh,
like,
I know.
"Ah."
No,
I
I
fucking
remember fucking Dad told me that. I don't know why. I was like 13, and Dad's like, "You know why the Scots wear their pants backwards?" And I'm like 13, so I'm like, "They wear their pants backwards?" He's like, "Yeah, so they can get the sheep up on the hill, and they put their fucking back paws in the pockets and they bag
there
them."
are a lot of Scottish people, I'm sure, that have never had like have never like engaged in bestiality. You're
The
like, all the
guys, the
Scottish
guys,
people wear their
he's
pants
he's
backwards.
Irish.
They fuck their bagpipes. What can
What
you
can you
say?
say? What you haven't? Oh, dude,
Scotch tape. They're small people, and
dude.
so because Scotch tape was used for bondage to tie the sheep's legs together for sex, it's the truth. You can look it up. It's on Wikipedia, and that if it's on Wikipedia, it must be true.
Speaking of bagpipes, so when I was at fucking AT, it's like they were basically we were playing like op 4, like bad guys. So we got to wear like Australian Army BDUs and shit, and have like
Mhm.
we can just they gave us like a crate of blanks, and they were like, "Hey, these guys are gonna assault through, and you're gonna fucking shoot them." There
Dude.
was a dude who was part of the Cav Scouts, and all of a sudden, it's like 4:30 in the morning. He wakes up and he takes bagpipes out and starts playing that fucking like procession song they play on bagpipes.
Dude,
He did it
honestly, man,
every morning, every afternoon for lunch, and every night. And by the second day, I was like, I hope this dude gets eaten by a fucking bear.
on the other, like on the opposite side of the spectrum over there, like bagpipes make me really emotional. If I hear them, they make me cry. Like Wall of Kintyre by Paul McCartney, like I tear up with that song. I get very emotional with music, but like it reminds me of like when like a police officer like dies or
That's
something,
the
or a
song that they play.
firefighter. Yeah, dude, that song makes me so emotional. I've heard it played, and it's just like because you know, like I'm sorry, man. I'm not sorry. I back the police. I believe that we just need I'm not getting political, and I just want like even playing field for everybody. I'm not saying that like there should just be one police department. If you need coalitions to protect like your neighborhood or your people, that's fine too. Um, but like, dude, that like bagpipes make me fucking emotional. Like, I don't know, like I don't know, like yeah, I would not want to wake up to them, but
Dude, I just
just like with like a plate of haggis and just be like, all right,
I
where's the
would I would
toilet?
try haggis.
I
Haggis, I
would
would.
try it, but I heard it's very good. They're like, it's very nutty. I'm like, it's a nutty idea. They're like, no, it's a nutty flavor. And I'm like, no, it's a nutty
It's a
idea.
Scottish guy just standing over the pot beating it.
I think it was, I
How
think it
do you like
was,
your nut?
I'm not too sure, but I think haggis was created so that you could travel with it, like on a long
Probably
day's
that makes
journey,
sense.
like to go hunting or whatever. And then like they would bring haggis, it would like keep it together, and you could eat all the organ meat and stuff
The
instead of
smartest
eating
shit
just
they
fucking
ever did
crap.
was not the Scottish, but whoever came out with it. Whoever came out with fucking pemmican, that is fucking smart.
Probably indigenous to North American people.
Their
Do you know which
fire
actually
water.
but our native like aren't like a Native Americans, that's what like, I'll just say Native Americans, but our indigenous people would I try to say it out of respect, even though there's not much respect for them. But the Native Americans, it's weird, man. They do like this radiocarbon dating and stuff, and now they're thinking that, they were actually on this continent even earlier than we thought, which is pretty cool. I don't know why, but it's just cool. It would be really cool if we actually started treating them with respect too. But I always feel bad when I run into like somebody who's actually. I ran into somebody that was like a chief's like wife, like of a tribe. I won't say where, but seriously though, and it was like she was talking to me about like where she was from, her tribe and stuff, and it was so interesting, dude. It's like shit, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I just have a lot of respect for them. I've met a couple of people that are like truly like very native. One guy was Apache, and he even talked like not like I don't want to say stereotypically like what I expected, but like he just had this accent from like the Midwest that was nothing like I'd ever heard
Are
before.
you talking about the type of accent that actually sounds like this when they talk?
Yeah, kind of like that, but it was like, dude, it was so real. It was, and he was like very smart and like very insightful. And it's not like, and he also did shaman like routines and played bongos. It's not like
we
that,
had a kid. We had a
but
kid. This is a
it's
true
cool though.
story. This is the
You
weirdest
had a
thing
kid?
I had a
You never
kid.
told me I'm an uncle.
Yeah, but with my uncle. Um, I had a kid. I had a
Our
kid.
Garfunkel?
I had a kid in basic training with me. Um, I won't say his fucking name, but
No.
he is part of the Taos people, which I believe is like New Mexico. And he was
Mm.
showing me a picture. He lives. They have like traditional housing and shit. They still own it. He actually his family has all the deeds, and they had this mount. It's called whatever it is. It's Spanish, but it means the blood of Christ. And the reason why is like 3/4 of the mountain is covered in snow, and then when the sun sets on it, it looks like it's covered in blood. So he one day like this is September in Georgia, so you're
I
talking
love
like
that song.
so yeah by Scat Garfunkel. No, by he's just it's like fucking 100 degrees, like no joke. It's still hot as shit. And actually no, yeah. So this was the first time he did it, but he also did it later on than that. But it was like clear skies, sunny, and he's like, "Do you guys want to see something sick?" And we're like, "Okay." And he starts drawing this. I would draw it, but I will not draw it. It was a circle with like a cross in it and symbols, a head and legs, four legs. And I'm like, "What is this?" He goes, "It's called a rain turtle." And he takes a stick and he starts circling it, crosses it out, and he spits on it. And I was like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And he goes, "It'll rain in the next hour." Dude, I'm not even joking. It went from clear fucking skies and it fucking downpoured. And I remember one of the drill sergeants like, "It wasn't supposed to rain today." And I was like,
So they made you do calisthenics outside. Like,
"No,
all right, let's
it
move it
just
outside.
sucked." And then after, at the
And
end,
he's
because we were all skeptic. I don't believe in that shit, but like we were all skeptic. And then one of the last things you do for um, before graduation is called ATX. So it's like your advanced field training shit. It's a full week in the field. You don't get to sleep for the whole week. You just don't
oh
sleep.
yeah.
And I found ways to sneak naps in because I'm smart. But it was like we had just gotten there was a hurricane that went through Georgia a couple weeks before, so it went from being 90 degrees to
So everybody was pretty cheerful.
yeah. So it went well that day. They made us stay in the barracks because of the hurricane was that bad. But it went from 90 degrees the day before the hurricane, and then for the rest of my time in basic, it went from 60 down to 50. So it was just like it just got shitty out. And he's like, "Hey guys, check this out." We look, and he's making a rain turtle, and he spits on it. And dude, it was like 45 degrees, and it rained the entire week. And we were like, "Bro, stop, dude."
Dude,
I didn't even change my clothes. Like you're supposed to change your socks every day and your boots and
yeah,
whatnot. But it
it's
was
probably good that it's probably good that you didn't do one.
No.
Like,
So
what would
like
happen to you?
so
Like,
but here's the thing though, like so dude, I didn't change it all cuz I mean it's downpouring and I'm like there's no fucking point in change. What am I going to do? Change my shit real quick and go back out and get soaked? So like we're doing this, and then in the middle of the night, this one drill sergeant's like, "Hey, we're gonna go on a rock," and he rucks us through a thing of rivers up to like our fucking stomachs. But we have to carry our rucks. So now the ruck's soaked, the clothes are probably soaked, and then
yeah, if you dip in a river, you're usually pretty wet.
and then
Just wet.
this we had this captain, and he was just like, oh, "It wasn't supposed to rain, guys. This is really weird." And the kid looks and he goes, "Well, that's because I made a rain turtle." And he's like, "A rain what?" And he goes,
Isn't it? Would that
he
get annoying after a while?
well,
Like,
he
why would I turn to him and be like, "Listen, guy, you know,
But dude, like I remember we were like, he's like, I'll show you how to do it, and we were like, please don't do it, and he did it anyway, and I'm like,
he sounds sadistic."
yeah, but like, dude, I remember it poured, and it like even at night it would rain, and you're not allowed to set a tent up or anything. You're just they would literally hand you a machine gun and be like, you have to watch because we're gonna have people trying to get into your fob all night and all this stupid shit. So like you're
You,
just laying on your stomach and it's just puddles around you and it's just like the most miserable time. But I remember I lost my voice after that. I remember we went from that, we got back, we had to do a 3 mile run carrying equipment and then do this whole thing called Honor Hill, which burnt down last year. I remember like I woke
oh,
up like a day or two later. Honor Hill, by the way, is cool. It's really
well,
is. That's like you completed infantry basic training, so now we're gonna put you in this small group and we're gonna pin you ourselves with your cross rifles. Pretty fucking sweet. Like it's an honor to do it. But I remember I woke
mm.
up the next morning and someone's like, "Hey man, do you have the time?" And I like looked at my watch and I looked up at him and I opened my mouth and nothing came out. And I was like, "Uh oh!" And I had to go to the doctors and they're like, "Yeah, no, you have no voice. You're on antibiotics for like 2 months." And I was like, "Okay,
Dude, yeah, I would do the rain turtle and like it would fuck me over. Like I would just get like chased by like for like days by that naked Indian from Wayne's World.
well, dude,
Like
this this kid was
that
this
guy would
kid
just
was like real. I'll show you a picture of him off air, but he was like real Native American. Like he looks it.
I don't need to see a picture of the rain turtle. It sounds like
No,
a
no, not the rain
jerk. I'd be
turtle. No,
like,
no, of him. But I remember he would like put his hands in his vest like this, and we'd be like, "Where the hell is he?" And we would look over, and he'd just be staring up into the trees. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Just getting one with nature while we have this time to settle down." And I'm like,
okay. But like, all right. You just get that one southern guy that hates everybody, and he'd be like, "It's raining again. God damn it, chief squatting dog." And people are like, "You can't say that shit, dude. That's racist." And then they'd cancel him, and then he'd have his own talk show like 6 months later with Whoopi Goldberg.
she'd be like,
I'm
"I
serious.
shave my eyebrows as a choice."
Dude, you know what's fucked up? So I watched this old Mets game because baseball today. I sound like a real old timer. Like, "Hey, I hate the fact the way they play like that with them launch angles." But I watch old baseball games because they're fun. I don't give a shit. So they had Whoopi Goldberg with like Billy Crystal and Robin Williams. I love Robin Williams, too, but
Oh, look at him! He's gonna hit the ball over there. No, wait, I'm gonna catch it.
I
No,
was
no.
they brought him up in the booth. It's pretty cool. But like Whoopi Goldberg, Whoopi, God,
Whip it, Goldberg. She's like, "I'm so high. I'm
she
so
just has the fucking with the can like
She's just got
gas.
mad. She's got a
No,
balloon in
but
her hand.
she used to be like really like kind of down to earth and like cool and fun, and like now she's just like bitter and just weird. And it's like I'm not saying like her political views. I'm just saying like she just sounds so like
Well,
not not cool with her
you
situation.
would be pretty bitter too if you were dating some dude and then you had a birthday party and he showed up looking like fucking Al Jolson.
Oh, is that Ted Danson?
Yeah, and then he looks at her and I think he said something along the lines of like, "Here's the N word of the hour" or something like that, and she laughed. But it's like, what? What the fuck?
Wait, so you're dating the woman that was in The Color Purple, and she was in Roots, right?
She might have been.
Like, I think
I think
she's
Color
like
Purple's Oprah, unless it's both of them.
that's it, whatever. So like Whoopi Goldberg started as like an acclaimed actress, man. She played some really heavy roles, especially for African American people, and she did some like obviously she made some pretty poor career choices and like got into comedy that just wasn't like I think she could have handled more. and I think they just gave her less, and it was like just I don't know. She like really timed out for a while, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Whoopi Goldberg like, and she did Sister Act, and that was like pretty successful. It helped her out for a while, but
Yeah, now
I don't know.
now she's weird because she wears
You
like
know
those
what it is,
she wears
man?
those
You know what
all
it
white
like?
cotton suits, and she's like morbidly obese now, and
You know what I
she
would.
looks like the
She's
1990s
well,
Kingpin.
she's older now. I mean, but like I don't know. Do you know what it is? She wasn't like a Halle Berry like glamour, looker type thing. I'm not saying she's ugly or anything. I'm not, but like I bet you it was just harder for her. Like she had to have way more talent.
Maybe.
She probably watched people with less talent get further than her, and she probably was like, "This is fucking stupid." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be fucking bitter too. You know what I mean though? Like she probably was like, I could outshine any of these fucking people, but because that person is like, you know, like the Hollywood
Maybe.
type, like the Hollywood look. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of,
That's probably what
I'm
made her so
just
bitter.
like, I'm not trying. Like I'm basically trying to like, analyze her, which how she feels, which I should. But I would say that it was probably harder for her. It has to be harder for her.
Now she just kind of looks like Grimace on TV. Like she's just
I
this
see
silly
her as a.
fucking.
I don't like to really. I don't like to make fun of her all that much, because she is like it's like poor taste. Like she's a legend. She did a lot of uh I mean, can you look it up? I think she was in Roots, man. I just I did see Roots. I saw a lot of it a long time ago. They showed it in school, thankfully. It was really important. Like LeVar Burton, I grew up with him, like with Reading Rainbow, which was a fantastic show. Like actually, LeVar Burton's just really good at everything, and like, he's again like a term that I like to use. He's like a people's champ. You know what I mean? Like he's just seems like a good guy. Like I don't know what his personal life is about, but LeVar Burton's just one of those like positive people. But Whoopi Goldberg, she's a legend, man. I mean, she's a Hollywood legend. I mean, it's almost like making fun of Maya Angelou's like looks or something. You're like, what the fuck? Like, so pick somebody else. But make fun of Halle Berry. She's pretty enough. She'll be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like she'll be like, I'll just buy you and destroy your life. It's like, all right, I get 30 seconds to mock you. Okay. I just watched Swordfish and throw up.
Yeah, Dad years ago was like, you need to check this out, and then like,
Swordfish.
yeah, he was telling me
Halle
about it.
Berry and Billy Ray Joe Thingamabob or whatever. Billy Boob Thornton. Remember? He's had Billy Bob Thornton. Everybody loved him. I mean, he was supposed to be an acclaimed actor, but I just thought he was so stupid. He was like a dirty hippie Southern guy. He's like, hey, you guys got cousins I could hang out with for the night? I've got some booze. Like, oh, god damn it. Billy Bob.
She was not in Roots.
What was she in then? She was in The Color Purple. Yeah.
You know
she was
who was in the Roots?
Oh.
O.J. Simpson.
What do I say to that? It's pre-murder OJ. I mean, everybody loved Juice.
You know what's funny? So, do you ever hear the rumor about James Cameron talking about casting Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator?
No.
So he was going to originally cast O.J. Simpson. They did a screen test or a fucking read or whatever it is, and James Cameron's like, I just couldn't see him as a Terminator because the Terminator was a killer, and this guy was super nice, and it's like,
well, he'd probably be like, I'll run back. If anybody knows that he played as a running back for the fucking Bills, people are like, what the fuck is he talking about?
He's fucking hilarious in the fucking Loaded Weapons.
O.J. Simpson was a huge fucking star, dude. Like, we didn't grow up in that time, but OJ was, again, like a black dude in a time when it wasn't easy for that. But, like, I'm not saying it's whatever, but OJ transcended that shit. He was fucking on TV, dude. He was a good looking guy. He was a great football player. It wasn't like, like a Tim Tebow that, like, he's handsome and whatever, but he can't throw for shit. You know what I mean? Like OJ was considered by many the greatest running back of his time for the longest time until Walter Payton, I believe. So OJ was a huge star. So when he fucking murdered those two people, forgot. It's like, oh well, he never got convicted or whatever. Shut the fuck up.
I think he lost the civil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that goes. So if you lose the federal, I don't know if you're allowed to say technically he's a murderer. because I don't think
He is a
I
murderer,
don't think
dude.
the
Well, why
civils.
would they? Why do they, dude? A civil penalty is an admission of guilt without jail time, dude. For fucking entitled people. Nobody wanted to think that O.J. Simpson had fucking murdered people, or like Beretta fucking shot his wife. Like, remember Robert Blake? Like,
Oh,
he shot his fucking wife. I mean, she was a, from what I read and stuff, she was a terrible person as well. But
yeah.
God, dude, you don't
Who's
just do
going
that.
back to
It's
trial?
like, yeah, how do you? I couldn't ever have the mindset like, I've broken up, divorced and shit like that, stuff like that. But I can't like, dude, like he just like shot her. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, is it about the money? Is it that important to you? Like,
You know who's
what the
back in? You
fuck?
know who's asking for a new trial? And I was like, what the fuck today when I saw it?
Mm.
Scott Peterson.
Oh, he's like, I think
No,
everybody's
wasn't.
forgotten that
I don't think it was Scott. It might have been Scott Peterson. It was the other dude who
that
had
killed
killed his.
Lacey Peterson.
I don't know if it was him. I'd have to go back and look now because now I might be
Lacey
mixing.
Peterson was like this really pretty lady, and she, yeah, her husband killed her and like threw her like in the water. Like, I don't know, like she disappeared, and like he ended up, it was Scott Peterson, I guess, that did it. But yeah, it was a big story, dude. Like, there was a lot of murder in like California. One like Modesto was really like, no, Chandra Levy. She was murdered. She was having an affair with like that politician, and she ended up dead. Like, it was like definitely a hit, man. Somebody just like killed her. So it was like pretty rough for a while. I knew a girl from Modesto back then. That's like in the late 90s. How the fuck did I find somebody from Modesto? Oh, I remember. I remember. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who
Okay. So it is
cares?
Scott Peterson. Sorry, I wanted to make sure before I sound like an idiot. But yeah, he's trying to say that he didn't do it or some shit, and he's asking for like a retrial.
He's like, we actually got the deep fake done. I have a hologram to prove my innocence. They'd be like, oh, we need to hear this.
They show it.
Or
They show it. And it looks like Emperor Palpatine, like just flickering. You think
it's
he
just the
didn't
one,
do that?
it's just the one of Tupac doing this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
or the Dio one that's like all like,
Cacavelli. Those holograms
Taco.
freak me out because they look great, but then like you'll see them like they walk on stage and they stop and there's like the lag drift and you're just like, well, why is he fucking moonwalking?
I can't go for the hologram thing. It's too Orwellian for me.
Me too.
To listen, man. Like again, like the past belongs to death. You know what I mean? Like that's like philosophy and shit. But like anything from the past, like belongs to death in a way. Like you have memories and shit. But like these holograms, so you could see like simulated life. Like, dude, if Tupac was murdered, then like that's the end of his life. Like, you know what I mean? So like to have a hologram play his music, like they did something with Elvis where they used like movie screens or some shit
Yeah,
back in the
well
day.
they did it with
But they brought back like his original band, and that was like a Miles. I think they would bring not Scotty Moore. They would probably bring back James Burton,
they did it with
who
Freddie
played
Mercury a
after
couple years
'68.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
because I
just had
told
like a
you,
huge
friggin'
screen. They had a huge
Brian,
screen
like
behind him, and he was doing "Love My Life," and then it was the footage of him, his camera only from Wembley.
I was thinking about this. We're always saying like John Deacon's like a quiet member, and I always say that like Brian May and Roger Taylor, as much as I love their playing, I think they're very talented. I think they're like like kind of a bunch of shills, man. Like they're in it for a buck. And but John Deacon does do the finances, so if he had a problem with any of this shit, then he would have said something. So I guess John Deacon's like okay with it. But like I know that like Freddie wouldn't sell like the music to like commercials and shit. He didn't like that. So I just don't get that like everybody just buys into like Brian May saying like, oh yeah, by the way, before Freddie died, he didn't say he loved us. He told
Well,
us to sell the music.
the thing is
Sell the music.
the
Put
thing
it in a
is when
car
when
commercial.
the last two albums they did, so they did when they did the Miracle three, so when they
Yeah.
did the Miracle, Innuendo, and then Made in Heaven, when they finally got back in the studio for the Miracle, they said um instead of just giving the writing credit to the individual writer, it'll go to the band as a whole. Most of the songs you see in the commercials are like "I Want It All" and "Days of Our Life" and stuff like that. So it was the ones that were written. That's
Yeah, I would be like pissed off. I saw like Love of My Life like in a stupid car commercial. You know what I mean? It's like what
John
like
Deacon.
does
They let John Deacon sell his music because I don't think I'm sure they have to go through him for licensing
it's
because you always
dude, if
see
John
like
Deacon wrote it, he's alive and he can make that decision. You know
mhm.
what I mean? Like what like for Freddie, like it would just be like if you took Love of My Life, you wouldn't just be like, the legacy of Freddie. I mean, Freddie's dead. I mean, I don't mean to be a jerk, but like, you know, he's not around to see it. But what does that do to Mary Austin? You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Give her
you gotta
so much
just
money.
yeah, but does she need it? Didn't he give her like half his estate or some shit?
Half his estate, and then he gave her the writing credits to.
Dude, she's a
He gave her
multi millionaire. I would just say that
the
like
royalties and the control over
oh
Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah, so she's so and rightfully so because she probably had her heart broken the fact that like he had to like move on and do stuff and do his own thing.
Best friends, they
But
stayed together until the end,
yeah, she like took care of him and shit, you know, like
and he took her on tour every year.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, and now she's like rolling in the dough, which is great. And how I mean, I wonder if she's probably like about 70 now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but like she's had like a
really pretty
nice
when she was younger.
oh, I mean, come on, only the best for Freddie. And I'm not, you know, I mean, he was the shit. He was a fucking come on, man. Freddie Mercury, it's like he's the greatest lead singer in rock and roll history. I mean, you can fucking challenge me all you want, but there's nobody better than him. Like I love a
What about
million
Hootie and the
different
Blowfish?
bands. Ah, Darius Rucker really has a soft spot in my colon that I really have to get checked out. Nah, it's like Hootie and the Blowfish fucking suck, dude. Like,
Dude,
like
I remember when Dad
ah,
rolled up. There were so many times where Dad rolled up listening to shit that I was like, because for people who don't know, our dad grew up in the fucking 60s, 70s, and
Dad
like,
saw Grand Funk and Shay. Like he
yeah,
saw Deep Purple and Ice Slip. Like, you know, like the guy should have a and he saw
was
Queen.
supposed to go to fucking Woodstock. He saw Queen twice. Saw Black Sabbath. Saw Van Halen open for Black Sabbath on one of the tours. But like, yeah, I remember one time he comes to the house and he's blasting just wretched. Sounds like pots and pans being thrown around. And I was like, "What are you listening to?" And he's like, "It's the new Hoobastank." And I was like,
Oh, dude.
"Oh, my butthole hurt."
Hey, I'm getting that call. Do you want me to take that now? Yeah, I guess I'll be right back then. Is that cool?
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Okay.
If you have to sign out of it or whatever, just let me know and I'll invite you back in. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he fucking doesn't. Maybe he's a cock smoker. Yeah, I might as well play this since I fucking love this.
Where is our son?
Oh, bollocks, he's run off again. Well, don't just stand there. Go after him.
Okay, lovey, I'm going, goddammit!
You talk to your wife like that?
Oh, dear. I seem to have spotted a cunt. Good day.
Fucking dumbest shit I've ever seen. Oh, man, I'm fucking shot. Yeah. Yep, burnt myself out. Burnt my fucking self out between work and that shit. Fucking sucked. Just fucking terrible. And then, you know, the job sucks too. But, I mean, it wasn't all bad. You know, got to see family and friends, people I haven't seen in years. Got to hang out with Scott Peterson. Sorry, I'm just trying to see something real quick. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Yeah, but this stream is most likely going to be short because I have a portable board and I completely forgot to he's still not back. I completely forgot to I forgot to fucking set it. Let me just check and make sure that he's not still in here. Participants. Yeah, he's not. Okay, cool. So I'll have him completely fucking hit me back when he wants to join back in. But yeah, just a lot of dumb shit happening lately. Like I said, I fucking burnt myself out. And I don't normally burn myself out. I can kind of go. Like, I usually get 4 hours of sleep a night and then work all fucking day and it doesn't bother me. But, dude, it was just way too much. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's see what's going on here, because I have a soft spot for these people.
Yeah.
Well, Gucci's is staying on the
No, I
RV.
know.
Like,
But hey, retard, why was Gucci's in our car earlier?
I drove her to the RV when we moved, like in the lot.
In the lot, yeah. But why? Why did you
Because I went back to get the car.
She couldn't walk?
Come on.
I drove the
Scram
bike
horse
over
at
here.
$3, you
Okay.
dipstick faggot.
I
It's the only way
I
I
did
peed
the
tooth can
bike
heal. We need to get
in
rid
the
of
Yeah, but
the
that's
parking
okay.
lot.
Actually,
And
I
Gucci's
need
had
to get
do with my car.
I need to get the other battery
But
pack.
Gucci's had to go in my car as I rode the bike.
Yeah.
Don't let Gucci's back in our car
Okay.
ever. Ever.
All right.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Because it stinks like shit in there now. And I don't want her in my car.
Okay.
Okay, please figure
Yeah.
it out.
Take
I don't know
this.
how many times I have to tell
All right.
you.
Take this because I have to
But
get the
you know,
other.
just figure it out.
Oh, you have the key.
Yeah. Just don't fucking let a retard in my car. I get that you're like mutant. What mutant?
I think there is.
What the
another
fuck
battery.
was with that fucking eyebrow? What the fuck was that?
Film, Jacob.
Oh no.
We have.
These people are so fucking
Yeah?
disgusting.
Yeah. They
Just
said,
nobody in your fucking car, dude.
Where is this
hold on.
No,
fucking
it's
mutant
okay.
ass? There it is.
Figure it out.
And some fun, but
That was a good stream.
To tell
All right.
you.
Take this because I have to get
But
the
you know,
other.
just figure it out.
Is that a fucking unibrow? What the fuck?
Have the key.
Yeah. Just don't fucking let a retard in my car. I get that you're like mutant. What mutant?
I think there is another battery pack. In
Bro,
Film, Jacob.
Oh no.
We have to move.
We are?
Yeah.
they just. Man, I love them. I do. They're such fucking dirtbags, but what the fuck is with that fucking, unibrow? Who's the other one? There was another good one. I don't know. They suck. All right, I guess Jane. Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping this. I mean, I hate to cut it short, but I have he has work tomorrow, and like I said, this fucking board's gonna die because I thought I charged it, but it's got fucking 4 different plugs because that's fucking sweet. You have to connect your video. Are you there or no?
You there?
Yeah, I just don't see. I don't have your video on screen, so I don't know if you're not.
What's going on?
Are you on the app itself or no?
I could hear you. It's in safe driving mode. What the fuck is that? Oh, now it's on. I'm like, you goddamn motherfucker, you piece of shit. And now it won't let me do it. Your microphone is on. Why is it making me do it? I just saw you, and then it went away.
Go.
You goddamn son of a. Are we live?
You sound like Mom used to tell me this story in like the 70s with Grandpa. Like he would be driving and he would hit a pothole, and she's like, he would be like, God damn it, Nelson Rockefeller, you son of a bitch. It just cracks me up. Just that dude getting so pissed over Nelson Rockefeller.
Nelson Rockefeller. That's so long. Yeah, man. Mom's seen it all. I was telling you before. Mom grew up in a time of Lawrence Welk. Man, that was cool shit, man. That was cool shit. That was when they cared about seniors and like people that didn't want to do much.
Yeah, I remember.
He would just conduct music and like bubbles would be like floating everywhere. He's like, now something a little softer. And then fucking it would make like all the 80-year-old ladies cream a little bit. It was pretty cool. You had to be there.
Yeah, Michael Douglas got me wet. Only white boy that ever made me moist. No, but yeah, I remember Grandpa always had like the Red Skelton collection.
Red Skeleton Collection. Yeah.
Dude, I remember going over his house every Christmas. I don't know what fucking channel it
I'm
was.
sorry. What would you say? You and Dad used to sit around and smoke Reggies and fucking watch the Blake Shelton
Reggie's
special?
and like kind of like go into different rooms and beat off till we were calm.
Well, I told you what my nickname is for Blake Shelton, right?
No.
Dixon Tweens.
Yeah, I remember though Christmas.
He's got the vibe, man. Fuck Blake Shelton. He always likes like he always has like any show that he's on. He's like, I'll bring a young blonde with me.
They had
It's
that,
like you're married. You're married.
They had
Well,
this
she's not young,
stupid
but
fucking ad that comes on and like. By the way, I don't get it because I have Amazon Prime, so then it comes with Prime as in like the streaming service, but it's everything's got like it's just like you. First off, the movies they give you are fucking trash. It'd be like bench warmers too, and it's like, well, the first one sucks.
it's like
so
those
I'm not
red.
gonna watch-
You ever look at the red box?
Oh yeah, terrible. But like they have an ad that because like they have the X Files, but you can only watch the X Files if you watch it with ads, unless you buy some subscription to Fox, which I'm not gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
But every once in a while they have like a Luke Bryan ad, and he looks like fucking Butthead from Beavis and Butthead, and he's like, when I was like 5 years old, my dad told me like, son, you should be a musician, and then
Women love him, man. They throw their panties on the stage for him, though. He's
Yeah,
so
but
fucking.
most
His
women-
music sucks.
Yeah, but women
though.
also like felons with heroin addiction, so I don't really care. what
Doesn't
they
he?
do.
Doesn't he have to sit like 2 rows down from Katy Perry now, like on TV? It's like your
Dude,
career.
I don't
Your
know.
career sucks.
I don't know, but I know like the
Like
fucking-
Lionel Richie's only on that show because he can't really walk anymore. Anytime they like have stairs, they like hold his elbows and shit. He's like Gerald Ford. It's like he's gonna fall up the stairs of Air Force Two. Like Gerald Ford fell up the stairs of the helicopter twice.
But
It
like,
wasn't even good enough to do it once.
but,
This guy had been like a star football player in college in the 20s.
but this stupid fucking ad, it's just like him explaining how like he always knew he was gonna be famous because that's what every famous person says. But then it cuts.
Well, when
out-
you're a self-serving narcissist, yeah, it's pretty much the MO.
But then it cuts out, and you hear it's called like Luke Bryan's like Dirt Road Diary, and he's like, and that's why I have my Dirt Road Diary. But like every time I see it, I can't help but sing. That's why I ride the Hershey Highway. That's
just
why
dirt-
I ride the Hershey Highway.
Dude, a dirt road diary just sounds like tales from your ass. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounds like dirt road diarrhea, or you know what I mean? It just doesn't sound. It rolls off the tongue if you
Yeah,
only eat if you eat an ass.
It,
Like if
fucking-
you,
it rolls off the butt trunk too.
it's like yo, seriously, if you ask somebody, does that sound cool? They'd be like, yeah, it sounds great. But like, yo, you eat ass? They're like, on the low, for real, I eat ass.
Yo, for real? On the low, dog?
I eat ass.
Yeah.
I like the taste of copper.
Oh.
I meant to say I like the movie Topper. David Copperfield. Can I just?
David Copperfield is just a musician who's like,
I'm
a
just gonna use
magician,
my
and he's-
like the Men in Black thing. Like, just I didn't say that.
But yeah, they have David Copperfield. He's just a magician, and he's like, all right, you're gonna lay on this bed, and I'm gonna. They're like, you're gonna saw me in half, and he's like, no, don't ruin it. And all of a sudden, he puts his head behind the box and just starts giving people head. And they're like, what the fuck you do? He's like, okay, Copperfield.
It's really crazy how easygoing was that Commandant Lassard was when he thought he got blown by Steve Gutenberg. Listen, man, I know we're all in it for the money, but like if Steve Gutenberg went down on me, I'd be like, I thought you were Steve Martin. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. Let's all go out and perhaps have a cigarette.
Dude, that guy lived to be like George something. He lived to be like 90. Yeah, he was cool though. Dude, Police Academy 1 and 2 were pretty good.
David
Not
Spade's in
like
the second
they
one, or-
made 8 of them,
Yeah,
dude.
they're making another one apparently.
But dude, the one with Bobcat Goldthwait or whatever, that one's actually pretty funny. I like him. It's like he's like, but he's like in a bad gang and shit.
He just sounds
you
like
know.
he sounds like proto Charlie Day.
It sounds like if you put like Nas and like somebody who had like special needs and like just you know, like so it's like I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But it's fucking evil.
Let's wrap this fucking thing up. I'm gonna charge
Yeah.
this thing. I have a feeling it's gonna drop.
right.
Am I calling you after this or?
No, I'm gonna head off. I'll message you.
All right.
All right, man.
All right, man. So that was the episode. We'll do another one tomorrow if you feel like.
Actually, I'm gonna call you in a little bit. Actually, I don't know. I took a power nap, as in a 2-hour nap after work.
I just took a power nap as well.
I'm gonna take a power dump. It's like you just have an ass ring all day on your legs and fucking ass, but the toilet
Dude,
ring.
Before we go, I did take a huge like the other day. I was just on. I got food poisoning and I was just taking a shit for like an hour,
Mm.
and I was like, man, my leg is numb. And I get done and I'm like wiping, and I go to take a walk and I rolled off of my ankle, and I was like, damn, imagine breaking your fucking ankle because you took a shit. Like, how do you go to the hospital? Like, how'd you do this? You're like, I shat for like an hour and broke my ankle.
Man. All right, dude. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right, man.